Hi, my name is YoungMi Lee. I'm currently working in a school as an English teacher. Before I start this TASO program, I never thought about my own philosophy of education. I think it is a good opportunity for me to think about my philosophy of education. First, I want to know exactly what the role of teacher is. Before I start to express my opinion, I would like to cite general teachers shown in school. Teachers were required to educate every student in exactly the same way and were not held responsible when many failed to learn. Teachers were expected to teach using the same methods as past generations, and any deviation from traditional practice was discouraged by supervisors or prohibited by education laws and regulation. Thus, many teachers simply stood in front of the class and delivered the same lessons year after year, growing gray and weary of not being allowed to change what they were doing. I'm not saying exactly all of the teachers are doing like this, but for me, I try not to have a teacher-centered class. I really try to have a learner-centered class. I know how to make students a passionate participant in the instructional process by providing product-based participatory educational adventures. Regarding curriculum, I know that the curriculums to enhance their ability and in order to get students to truly take responsibility their own education, I think the curriculum must relate to their lives, learning activities, should be engaged their natural curiosity, and assessment must measure real accomplishment and be an integral part of learning. I would like to quote Sapir to explain my opinion. He's one of philosophy of education. He said, quote, "Because of the difference between schools and real life, it is clear that schools alone will never be able to do a perfect job of providing students with socially relevant and usable knowledge. Public schooling can be made more lifelike in two major ways: by bringing as many real-life processes into school as possible, and by encompassing more outside experience." Quote. Sapir quoted in Webb et al. Foundation of Education, page 93. I like especially this quote, "life like schooling." Schools are a major part of society's institutional process for maintaining a relatively stable system of inequality. And education measures more than what a person has learned in school. It measures who they are on a deeper level. I want to be a teacher who cares really students. I have another philosopher to quote. He's Juris Tag Lanier. He's also distinguished professor of education at Michigan State University. He introduced a teacher called Gatto. John Taylor Gatto is a retired American school teacher with nearly 30 years experience in the classroom and also of several books on education. He said he doesn't want to hurt kids to make a living because he thought it makes the children confused. The school presents an incoherent ensemble of information that the child needs to memorize to stay in school. Apart from the test and trials, that program is similar to the television. It fills almost all the free time of children. One sees and hears something only to forget it again. As listed in a board, education is about helping students make responsible choice about their lives. In addition, education should help students understand the human conditions, such as freedom, responsibility, choice, anxiety, authenticity, alienation, and identity. Based on the survey I conducted, I'm not a teacher who pushes students to only study. I encourage students to know why students should study, and I ask them to have a good relationship with friends in a classroom rather than only focusing on studying. Because I think cooperation and interaction come from a great relationship with friends, and it leads to have an excellent problem solving skills and personality in a classroom. I want to give them more free time to share their ideas and thought as much as possible in a classroom.